Alright, as per usual, I'm out here by the Mississippi River. I'm going to show you how to make a Tinder tube from scratch. I made another video about a month or so ago and I kind of showed how to make a Tinder tube, and someone in the comments brought it to my attention that I did not fully show how to craft a Tinder tube. So today I'm going to do that. I'm going to show you how to melt down the wax, put it on the rope, and put it in the tube, and it's going to be good, and hopefully it's something that can help you out in times to come. Alright, here we go. Just straight ice down there. It is a pretty warm day though, so I don't think it's going to be too slippery, but I got to be careful. Got a nice little waterfall over there all iced up. And before I can show you how to craft this Tinder tube, or as some call it a hobo match, we're going to have to get down there. Straight ice all the way down where the steps used to be. I'm going to have to go up and around down to that middle point there. It'd be a lot easier if I had a little attachment to put this action camera on my head, but unfortunately I do not have that. It's gonna be tough getting down here. Alright, you can see that waterfall a little better. It is pretty cool. Kind of a little valley right here. A little tree here to grab onto if I need it. Alright, made it down. Let's go see that waterfall. It is absolutely crazy how much of the foliage and live plants go away in the wintertime. Usually this area is so thick you can't even really see where you're walking. Just gotta get to the right spot to do this little tutorial away from where anybody might be walking. I really don't like running into people while filming videos. I kind of like the solitude out here. You can see the current under the ice here. Alright, we're at the spot, and you know, it's very nice outside. The last 3 days, about a week ago, it was freezing. You couldn't go outside for more than a few minutes without your boogers becoming icicles. And now, the temperature is lovely. It's about 0 degrees Celsius, 35 degrees Fahrenheit. So, the items we need to make this Tinder tube: some wax. Here I have some beeswax. You can use paraffin wax. You could even use candle wax. Here we have the tube. I got a small brass tube used for plumbing, and we got some rope in here. Now the rope I used is cotton rope. It's about clothesline in diameter. You don't want it too loose and you don't want it too tight. I think this is just good enough with the wax on it. It'll kind of stay in the tube. Finally, for this project, we need a tin can. We're gonna melt the wax in here and then pour it onto the rope. The wax is going to help the rope to stay burning once it's lit. And you can light the rope with a ferrocerium rod. You could even use a lighter, but ideally you want to use a ferrocerium rod. That's what I would use. Alright, we're going to cut up some wood before we get this fire roaring. Now the Essie Azula may be a small knife, but it rips. And it just destroys this wood. Look at that, it had a big old knot in there, but in the wood's defense, it is pretty dead and dry. Alright, so we're still on the river. Got our supplies right there. And in this little formation here, which is pretty cool, we're going to make the fire. I'm going to put some kindling on top of this bark here and get it going. Alright, I got the shavings ready. We're going to get the fire started. I've been saving this fat wood for just this occasion. Fat wood is that highly resinous pine. You can usually find it in the branches of a dead pine tree. It's going to have that amber color there. It's going to smell very piney. and all that resin is extremely flammable, and this will light up on a moment's notice. Another nice trick with fat wood, grab the back of your saw or the back of your knife, just get a good scrape, and you'll get those nice little pieces there that you can just put on your tinder pile. Fat wood will burn when wet too, so it's not a bad thing to find or have on you in the winter time. Just like that, that fat wood lights up real fast. Right, put that wood there, fire nice and tight, just like that. Alright, let's let it cook. We're gonna get our beeswax right here. We're gonna put it in the can just like that. Actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna break this in half if I can. There we go, break it in half. Now we're gonna try to place the can on top of this. There we go. Alright, we'll let that wax melt. The wax is just about melted all the way. Ooh, it literally just tipped over, but none of the wax came out. We gotta do this quick now. Grab the old multi-tool. There we go. I'm thinking is just putting the whole rope in there, stirring it around with a stick. I think that might work a little easier, so I'm gonna try that. Got a stick right here. Alright. So we're basically just soaking that rope in that beeswax. Kind of move it around a little. Alright, that looks good. We're going to let that cool down a little bit. Then we're going to put the tinder inside of the tube. So once the wax is dried on the rope, it's going to act as a candle almost and keep that rope burning for a lot longer than if you just started the rope on fire by itself. It's also going to produce a bigger flame than a lighter. It's going to stay lit for a long time. And it doesn't weigh a thing, and it takes up zero space. You can put it in an Altoid tin, your fanny pack, your backpack, wherever. Alright. Take the rope out. Woo! Look at that. Nice and waxy. You just gotta let it dry a little more. But yeah, for the most part, we got ourselves a pretty good piece of rope there. It's just about dried up. So you can see the wax keeps the rope in place like this. Looks very nice. We're gonna stick it into the tube, stretch it out. Now, this thing is real waxy. Hopefully it's soaked in enough, but yeah, that wax is just rock hard now. We're gonna have to cut this a little bit just to get it inside the tube. This wax is rock hard, so this thing will stay lit for a long time. Alright, that's beautiful. Alright, here we go. Take the tube, take the rope, put it through like this. Now when we light this with a ferro rod, lighter, whatever, it's going to stay lit for a long time. Show you how that works. It's pretty waxy, it's pretty solid, it's not going to just light on its own, the ferrocerium rod. So for those first few times, I'll place it on here, and we're just going to fray those edges of the rope when we strike them with the ferrocerium rod. Okay, we're going to place the ferrocerium rod on the rope. Alright, we got it. It's lit. Now watch this. You can see how that rope is staying lit for a long time. Now I think this is a much more reasonable option if you wanted to light some wet tinder, pieces of wood that aren't quite thin enough for that ferro rod to start. You can put this guy right in there, and it's just like a big candle. I mean, it's barely burned down the rope at all. That wax is keeping it lit. You could even try lighting this bigger piece of wood here. It's going. This thing is nice. And why not just toss it in your pack? You know, what's the harm? This is a good option for starting fire. You want to put it out, here's the best part. You don't have to waste any rope. You don't have to crush it with your fingers. All you have to do, pull it back in that tube, and it's out. Just like that. That's a Tinder tube. When you're done using the tube, right back into the Altoids tin it goes. Fits in here just fine. Just like that. Back in the tube, no problems, no hassle. I love it. My older Tinder tube, it's a little shorter. The tube I think is the same kind. The rope is much more bulky. I mean, you can use any kind of cheap rope, any kind of cotton rope, just not some kind of plastic rope that you'd use on a boat. You know, that kind of boat water rope people use for anchors, whatever. I wouldn't use that. Use something like this. So thanks for watching. I hope you learned something today. I learned a few things myself making this Tinder tube this time, and yeah, it's a great tool. Please, don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps my channel grow, and it helps my motivation grow as well. I want to keep making these videos. I want to keep teaching and learning along with all of you. Thank you to those that have liked and those that have subscribed, even the people that comment. It makes a huge difference, keeps my videos in the algorithm, and it means a lot to me. Hopefully you can go out there yourself and make your own Tinder tube. It's a good tool to have. It's great for lighting fires. It's very easy to make. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Peace.